Welcome. Whether you're joining me live this evening or at another time, I'm glad that you are taking this time for yourself. So we'll start today in a seated position. So you might be sitting cross-legged if that's comfortable for you. You might decide to sit up on a cushion or something similar, just to give yourself a little bit of extra height. Sometimes it's nice to elevate your seat a little bit, especially if you have a little bit more tightness in your hips. It's nice to sit up on a little bit of an elevation so your knees have some space to drop down a little bit. And then however you are sitting, whether your legs are crossed like me, maybe you've got your legs out straight. If crossing your legs is uncomfortable, however you're sitting, perhaps there's a cat trying to get on your lap. Just take a moment to close your eyes. Begin to guide your attention inside your body. So maybe as you close your eyes, you start to notice particular physical sensations within your body. Maybe there are particular thoughts or feelings that are present for you, whether you are joining me in this evening practice or at another time of day. Just take a moment to notice how you're feeling as you start the practice. And then begin to breathe in a way that not only allows you to relax into the spot that you're in, but allows you to feel anchored into the space that you're in. So you feel sort of anchored in time. Some of us have a harder time feeling anchored in time than others. So take a moment to breathe in a way. So breathing in deeply. Feeling your whole torso expand out to the sides, front and back. And then exhaling, letting your torso relax and release that breath that you've breathed in. Maybe you're breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Maybe in through your nose and also out through your nose. Just kind of depends how you're feeling. Just take a few breaths in this way. Just kind of land in your body. And then we'll bring our palms together in front of the heart. And then interlace the fingers. Press the palms forward and up toward the ceiling. Just begin to reach up through one hand. Up through the other side. Left hand, right hand, side to side a few times. Get a little gentle tug on your fingers. Feeling into each palm, each arm, each shoulder, each side of the body. Maybe you can sense all the way down into your low back. And so I had originally scheduled this class to be at 5 p.m., but we're doing it at 8 o'clock. I had a little emergency with my cat, but she's all right now. But I wasn't sure when I was going to get back from the vet. So whether you have had a day that's been pretty chill or whether you've had kind of a stressful, weird day like I have, take a moment to land in your body, noticing all these sensations that are possible. So we've reached up through one hand and then the other a few times. And now we'll just simply release the arms, take them behind the back, interlace the fingers there, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up across your chest. Now, for some of us, we might need to keep the elbows bent in order to feel this broadness and openness across the chest. For others of us, it might feel okay to straighten the arms, but really focus on that sense of opening across your chest, whether your arms are straight or your elbows are bent. And then in this position, start to turn your head from side to side. Start to relax your jaw, the muscles of your face, your forehead. Let your eyes get heavy in their sockets. All right, and then reach your chin up toward the ceiling. Really stick out your chin. And drop your chin down. Feel into the back side of your neck. Again, chin up. Really reach. And chin down. Heavy head. All right, as you bring your head back up to center, release the hands, and then we'll let the right hand just come down to rest on the floor. Sweep your left arm up and over. And as you reach with that left hand, start to squeeze and release the fingers. So spread them apart, scrunch them up. Move your fingers in all the ways that they are capable of and is comfortable for your body. And then rotate through your wrist. So you invite some movement into the wrist. Rotate both ways. Especially if you've spent some time on your computer today, maybe you need to move the hand, the wrist, the forearm in a less robotic kind of way. All right, take a breath in, lift up. Exhale, left hand comes down, lean into it. This time, right arm up and over. Same thing as you squeeze and release the fingers. Spread them apart, scrunch them up. A few times, and then rotate through your wrist. A few times each way. All right, big breath in, lift up. Exhale, release your hand down. All right, so from here, we'll come on to hands and knees. Now, if you're somebody who has sensitive knees, maybe you have a blanket that you can put on your mat or on the floor. If you're on a super cushy space like your bed, maybe you don't need that extra blanket. But if you do need a little bit of extra support, just put a blanket underneath your knees. And then we'll take our hands to about shoulder distance apart. So the hands are under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then as you breathe in, let your belly drop. Lift your head and your tailbone. As you breathe out, tuck the tail around your back. Bring your chin toward your chest. Again, breathing in as the belly drops. Head and tail lift up. And exhale, tuck and round. And just do this a few times at your own speed. Each inhalation, you give a little stretch to the belly. Come into this back bended shape. Each time that you breathe out, round your back, stretch your back, engage your abdominals, rounding forward. All right, take one more breath. All right, now as you come to neutral with your spine, step your left foot forward to your left hand. Now as you lift your torso up, we're coming into a short lunge. So not a big, long, stretchy lunge, but one where your front knee, which is your left knee, is right over your ankle, and then your right hip is pretty much right over your knee. So now we'll take this right hand to the left knee, and then take the left arm forward, up, back, and down. And as you rotate through your shoulder, let your palm turn up part of the time and turn down part of the time. And really just notice, how does it feel in the left shoulder tonight? All right, so the next time that you take your left arm back, go ahead and pause in your twist and then turn your head to look back towards that left hand. See if you can spot your left thumb. Relax your forehead, relax your cheeks, relax your jaw. Take a few breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right, as your left hand comes forward, both hands come down to the floor. Take your left leg back. And then between sides, we'll tuck our toes under and lift up into downward facing dog. So take your hips up and back into the air. Shake your head out a few times, yes and no. Relax the facial muscles, the jaw. All right, release down to your knees. This time, step your right foot forward to your right hand. We'll do the second side. Lift your torso up. Take your left hand to your right knee, and then take your right hand forward, up, back, and down. And just do this a few times, rotating through your shoulder, kind of checking in with that right shoulder. And how does it feel? Maybe your palm is turning up or down in certain parts of the rotation. What are you noticing? All right, so the next time you take your right arm back, go ahead and pause in the twist and turn your head to look back, perhaps even spotting that right thumb. Relaxing all the facial muscles, the forehead, the cheeks, the jaw. All right, now as you guide your right hand forward, both hands come down to the floor. Take your right leg back, and then this time we'll sit back into child's pose. So your hips are going to go back toward your feet. Depending on what's comfortable for your torso, you might take a little bit of space between your knees, maybe a lot of space between your knees. As you fold forward, either onto or between your thighs. If you have a block, sometimes it can be nice to let your head rest on your block. But just take a moment with your hips moving back toward your feet, your knees bending, and you folding over or between your thighs as you pause and rest. Take a few deep breaths. All right, one more round of breath. All right, now as you pull yourself back up onto hands and knees, we'll take our knees nice and close together. And then reach your right leg or your left leg back in space. So as you reach back with your left leg, take your right arm forward. So left leg, right arm. Now we'll start to take this right arm out to the side. So reaching over to the right side. And then take your right hand to your low back. Pause there. Maybe it's possible to walk the hand up a little bit closer towards the shoulder blades. Keep reaching back through your left leg, wherever your right hand lands. And then take that right hand back out to the side. And forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, take your right elbow to your left knee. Again, inhale, reach, same arm and leg. Exhale, right elbow, left knee. One more inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. As you reach this time, take your right hand down to the floor. Cross your left leg over your right leg, drop your toes. And then curve your spine to the right. So you're peeking back at your left foot. Sensing all the way up the left side of the body, from the foot to the hip, to the shoulder. Couple of breaths. All right, bring your torso back to neutral. Pick that same leg up and then step it all the way out to your left side. So essentially right out from your left hip, up to the side. And then walk your hands in, lifting up. We'll take our palms together in front of the heart, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up toward the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, side bend to the left. Again, inhale, come up. Exhale over to the left. And one more, inhale, come up. And exhale over to the left. All right, inhale, come up. Exhale, release your arms. And step your left foot forward into a lunge. This time a little bit of a longer lunge than we did before. So we did a short lunge before, but do a little bit of a longer lunge this time so that as your hips are coming forward and your front knee is roughly over your ankle, you have a little bit of a stretch in your right hip and thigh. Then take your right hand down to the floor. Could also be down to a block. And then start to slowly twist toward your left leg. So hips are dropping down and forward, and you're twisting toward your left. Maybe you turn your head to look back. Maybe you also bend that right knee, catch your foot with your left hand, just as an option. Or maybe that left hand rests on the thigh. Either way, 3 deep breaths. Okay, after your 3rd breath, release your left hand down to the floor. Take your left leg back. And we'll take another downward facing dog. So when you're ready, tuck your toes under. Lift your knees, take your hips up and back. Release the weight of the head, shake it yes and no. All right, as we release down to our knees, this time we'll reach the right leg back in space. And then left arm forward. So right leg, left arm. Now take that left arm out to the side. Left hand to low back. And again, if your shoulder, your left shoulder in particular, allows you to walk your hand up a little bit higher, maybe you do that. But keep reaching back through the right leg, wherever that left hand lands. And then take your left hand back out to the side. And forward. And then deep breath in. Exhale, take left elbow to right knee. 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. As you reach this time, go ahead and take your left hand down to the floor. Cross the right leg over the left leg. Drop the toes. And then curve your spine to the left. So you're peeking back at your right foot. Sensing all the way up the right side of the body, from the foot to the hip, from the hip to the shoulder. All right, bring your torso back to neutral. Pick that same right leg up, step it all the way out to the side. So it's directly out from your right hip, out to the side. Walk your hands in, lifting up. We'll take our palms together in front of the heart, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as you side bend to the right. Again, inhale, come up to center. Exhale to the right. And one more, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, now as you come up to center, release your arms. Step the same right foot forward into a slightly longer lunge. So maybe you step forward a couple of times. And then we'll take the left hand down to the floor, maybe to a block, depending on your proportions and your comfort. And then start to slowly twist toward your right side. Maybe your right hand is on your right thigh. Maybe you bend your left knee and catch your left foot with your right hand. Either way, 3 deep breaths. All right, so after your 3rd breath, release your right hand down to the floor. Take your right leg back. And we'll sit back towards child's pose once again. Hips toward the feet, forehead toward the floor or a block. And again, maybe you are resting on your elbows here. Maybe you're taking your forehead all the way to the floor or to a block. Maybe your knees are together, maybe your knees are slightly apart. Take 3 breaths. And so after your 3rd breath, go ahead and make your way onto your back. As you come onto your back, draw your knees into your chest. Give them a gentle squeeze. Rock a little side to side. And then we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Bring the legs into the chest. Reach through for your left leg. So maybe you're grabbing around your shin or behind your knee. Either way. And if you haven't done this particular stretch before, my right hand is coming into the hole that my 2 legs are making so that I can grab the left leg. Rock a little side to side, rotate through your left ankle. Always seems to be a little bit of a popping happening there. So rotate a few times both ways. Pop, pop. All right. All right, now I really like to turn this particular pose into a twist. So keep your legs connected to each other in the way that they're connected, but just start to drop them over to the left. And then when you do that, take a hold of your lower leg with your left hand. So just kind of grab the inner knee pit of your left leg so that you hold your legs where they are. And then briefly with your right hand, push your right knee away. And then sweep the right arm up and over to the right. And just take a few deep breaths here. So we've got this lovely piriformis stretch that stretches one of the muscles in your right hip. And then we're just adding a twist to it. So take your right arm over to the right. Take several deep breaths in through the nose. Back out through the nose unless you're congested, out through the mouth. All right, 2 more cycles of breath. All right, begin to slowly guide your legs back to center, and then we'll switch sides. So now it'll be the left ankle crossing the right thigh. Bring your legs in toward your chest. Reach through for your right leg. So again, that left hand is going through the hole the legs make to grab a hold of your left shin or behind your, no, that's the right side, right shin or behind the right knee. And then rock a little side to side, as well as rotate through your right ankle a couple of times each way. All right, so again, we'll turn this particular pose into a twist. So now as your legs, still connected to each other, drop over to the right side, you'll grab a hold of your inner right knee pit, just to hold the legs kind of close to your torso. And then briefly with your left hand, push your left knee away. And then reach your left arm out to the side. Your head can turn any way that it wants to turn as you take a few deep breaths. So for some of us, depending on how our hips are constructed, this might emphasize or decrease, depending again on how your hips are constructed, the sensation you feel in your outer left hip. So notice what you feel in your body. Take a few deep breaths. All right, after you release your next breath, slowly guide your legs back to center. Let them uncross. Feet come down to rest on the floor. Step them as wide as your mat. And then start to sway your knees from side to side. And I like to step the feet as wide as the mat so that when the knees are dropping in and out, they don't bump into the other leg. So you have full range of motion for each leg here, rolling in, rolling out. All right, now we'll come into our final rest for this particular practice. So if you are fully comfortable straightening out your legs on your mat, go ahead and do that. If you want a cushion underneath your knees, feel free to put that under your knees. You could also take the bottoms of your feet together, drop your knees out to the sides, and we'll just take about 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes here. But if you have longer, if you have more time and you want to stay longer in your rest, you can definitely do that. But after just about 1 minute here, I'll call us back to seated. But just take a few moments here to pause and rest. Give yourself a little bit of time to absorb what we've done, to notice what sensation is present, what temperatures are present. Certain parts of the body might be warmer or cooler than they were when you started. And truly, if all that you're doing here is breathing and noticing what it feels like to breathe in and breathe out, that's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just practice the skill of observing and welcoming. All right, so if your time is a little bit more limited, maybe you start to reawaken parts of your body with a little bit of movement into your fingers and your toes. If your time is not limited, maybe you stay in this pose of rest for a little bit longer, a few more minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you have. But again, if you need to move on to whatever the rest of your day contains, just start to reawaken with a few deeper breaths. Big breath in through the nose, maybe exhale through the mouth. One more like that. And then for me, I like to draw my knees into the chest. Give them a squeeze. Rock a little side to side. Roll to one side. Pause there for a breath or 2 or 10. Just really take as much time as you need to transition between paying attention to whatever else is going to happen in your day, such that when you feel ready, you slowly press yourself up and come into seated. And so as we began our practice, we close our practice in this seated position. We'll draw our palms together so that they meet at the heart center. And as we bow to the light within ourselves, we also bow to the light within each other. And as we bow to the light within ourselves and each other, we acknowledge that we are the same. Thank you for practicing with me live or on the replay. My intention is to do these classes once a week, not always at the same time, not always on the same day. If you have any requests for times of day, days of the week, let me know in the comments below. See you next time. Bye-bye.